What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jay Floyd, aka Big Bro. Man, welcome to another episode of the Big Bro Podcast, man. Thank you for joining me right here in the family room, man. Hey, yo, real quick, before we get started, man, and this is a really serious topic that we're going to discuss. But before we get started, let's knock out some housekeeping, man. Number one, go visit my sponsors, man. You'll see all the information, all the links you need to go purchase from them down in my description, man. Number one is Blackwater, man. You got to keep your water intake up, man. Anybody will tell you, man, you better drink your 64 or 72. I don't care if it's 98, man. You better get your water in. You know what I'm saying? Stay hydrated, keep your minerals up. Right now, we in this time of COVID, man. The number one thing you need to do is stay hydrated, man. Keep your body moving the way it's supposed to move so it can heal itself the way it's supposed to heal. Get your water up, man. And number two, man, go visit the Black Gentleman Grooming Company, man. Get you your beard balm, your beard butter. Man, they even got soaps, they got combs, they got brushes. Boom, I got my balm right there. Just slapped some on before I started this video, man. So go check them out. The links are right down below in this video. And if you're checking me out on Instagram, you know what it is, man. The link is in the bio, man. Y'all know what it is. Man, I love y'all. Make sure you click like and subscribe and hit that bell, wherever the bell is, man, so y'all can get a reminder every single time I drop an episode, man. Now let's get back to this topic. Listen, this episode, it's not gonna be about an easy topic, man. This one, we're gonna discuss and respond to the events from yesterday, man. The storming of the Capitol, the attempted coup d'etat, insurrection, overthrowing of the government that occurred yesterday in Washington, D.C. I felt it was too important to not discuss. I gotta be honest with y'all, I wasn't gonna talk about it, man. Initially, it was too much. You know, there's a couple of reasons. One, in watching it, especially in watching it real time, you know, the coverage. You know, there's a lady who got killed. She was shot and killed. One of the people of the group of attempted coup people, the group that attempted to go in and just really wreak havoc, you know, and they were allowed to, you know, but one of the members of that, the lady who was shot and killed. There were 4 people overall that died, but, you know, you got to see this lady get shot. You got to see this lady literally die, struggle for life and die. And, you know, being a person with PTSD, that's a trigger for me. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have no, I definitely, especially the whole event was rough. You throw that in. I didn't have any positive emotion about it. You know what I mean? Being a black person and knowing, watching this whole thing that it would not have gone down that way for you or anybody like you, you know, that's rough, man. It's impossible for us, anybody black, to watch that and not have those feelings. Like, that's ridiculous. If it was us, it would be a bloodbath, right? And so that thought was playing over and over in my head. Bloodbath, and then seeing that lady get killed, it just was not a good emotional time for me, man. I wasn't feeling it. I'm sure a lot of y'all was not feeling it either. I'm sure a lot of y'all had serious trauma triggers, turmoil going on emotionally. So I took some time. I took a step back. You know, one of the biggest things that I'm all about is sometimes, especially with this kind of stuff, when it involves trauma, triggering generational trauma, you know, these kind of things, you got to really let them breathe, man. I think a lot of the reason why we get into this turmoil in this country is that so many people react. They react. You go to look at people's YouTube channels, a lot of times it'll say, boom, the reaction to this person reacts. I didn't want to put Big Bro reacts. Big Bro responds, man. I'm real key on responding. We'll talk about in another episode about what I consider the difference between reacting and responding, man. But what I wanted to do in this one, man, is let this breathe, man. Let everybody be able to just feel what they feel, process a little bit of them feelings. It's going to take time, but to at least process a little bit of it, man. Reflect. You know, reflect. How does it hit you? What do it stir up in you? You know, anybody, all of my fam, all of my folks that watch me, man, I encourage you to just take some time in quiet and say, how does this hit me? Not in no bravado and bluster. Hey, I feel like white people need to do this or black people need to do this. No, not in that social media response way. Not in that snarky, ooh, told you so, man, we should have known. Nah, but in a real, I encourage all of my followers, anybody who watch me, man, I encourage y'all to really sit with yourself, man, and say, how does this affect me? Because everything that we watch, everything we take in, having serious impact on us. It's having an effect, right? So when I sat back, man, the thing that came to me was after the building was cleared out yesterday, you got this, you know, me and my wife stayed up and watched it. You know, the senators and the officials, they were traumatized, man. They were seriously traumatized. And rightfully so. Look at what they went through. They for all they know, their life was on the line, right? These people storm in while they're trying to do their jobs. Security doesn't do their job. These people storm in. You don't know what's about to happen, right? They had to hide under chairs. They had to have oxygen masks placed on them so that they could breathe because of all the tear gas and bullets. Listen, these people, I saw videos, man. They prayed, they cried, they huddled together, they grabbed each other. They were traumatized. They're probably gonna need some therapy from that. I hope they get some, right? Some of them even, they felt different. They walked in that day feeling like, man, I'm about to fight to flip this election for Trump. Some of them felt so traumatized, they changed their votes. A lot of them got up and spoke eloquently about how they felt, how this made them feel, how it impacted them. Mitt Romney talked about how he has 25 grandchildren at home who are worried about his granddad gonna make it home, right? Trauma. I want y'all all to just imagine that feeling. If you were one of those people, imagine that trauma, bottle it up, and imagine having to experience that multiple times in your life. Like I'm talking about 20, 30, 40 times in your life, right? Imagine having to go through that, except you got to go through it with no cameras, no people around the world who care about you, who are saying this is wrong, this is a travesty. They're on your side. Nobody's coming to save you. There's no security. There's no National Guard. And at the end of the day, there's no just a long night of inconvenience where you got to work and put in votes. But no, your life, your property, your children's life, your rights, your humanity is at stake. Imagine that happening. That's what my grandparents had to go through, and my great-grandparents, and their parents, and their parents, and their children. This is the Black experience. This is the Black experience in our cities, our towns, our communities. That energy you saw last night has plagued our families, has been turned against our families so many times, it's countless. And that trauma, that anxiety gets passed down through exogenetic memories, gets passed down into our memories, our soul, the fabric of our DNA. That's what I have to see. That's the filter that I see the world through. That trauma, that anxiety. That's the filter that I see the world through. And and we translate our thoughts, and we try our best to grow up and live to chase the American dream and believe in this nation, and we still find a way to tap into what's right, and we love everybody, right? But that's the existence. When you see somebody, when you're working and you got a Black coworker who's code switching every day, know that they're coming into work code switching through anxiety that has showed them that it will abuse and kill them, and it won't do the same thing to others. And they have to come into work and act like that doesn't matter to them. Doesn't matter. And not only that, then we got to go teach our children to do it. That's why when people talk about having the talk, it's not just a talk. It's every day. When you're raising a Black child in America, you're teaching them, here's your real history. Here's the BFRs, the brutal facts of reality for you. And here's how you're going to have to translate that to make it through every day. To not let that override your existence and who you are. Right? I have to tell my kids a lot, hey, my kids are young. They'll come home and be like, hey, we learned about George Washington. And I'm like, well, what'd you learn about him? Oh, well, he chopped down a cherry tree, or, he had wooden teeth. And I'll respond like, hey, that's a great story, but he didn't have wooden teeth. He actually had dentures made out of the teeth extracted from his Black slaves. And they'll look at me like, oh my God. And I know in that moment, that's hurtful. That's like, ugh, what? But that's what happened. That's real. And they need to know that, right? I don't go tell them, oh man, the school is messed up and they're trying to tell you lies, but I will tell them, hey, filter all of that through a varied range of knowledge sources. One of the main ones is going to be me. Another main one is going to be your mom. Come to us, and we're going to teach you a few things, give you some other sources to look at, augment your information, augment your education, right? We have to do that because there's always going to be a time like that, right? But the biggest thing that I let them know at the end, there's going to be people that don't like you because you're black. That's fact. There's going to be situations that are not easy. They're set up to make things harder on you because you're black. That's fact. I tell them that. I tell them that all the time, so they know that. So they're not surprised by that. But you know what else I tell them? We're not sent here to fix that. We're not sent here to eliminate racism from the world. We're sent here to love each other despite the fact that racism exists, right? We are in this household, like my man Paul said, in this house, we believe in Jesus, right? And the God that we serve. Jesus gave us 2 commands. That's it. Moses might have gave 10. And then the law, and people might have talked about a lot of other things, the 7 deadly sins and all this other stuff. But Jesus made it plain. Jesus said there's 2 that you need to be focused on. Number 1, you love God with all your heart, your mind, and your soul. Love God with all your heart, mind, and soul. And then number 2, love your neighbor the same way you love yourself. That's it. He didn't say, and make sure nobody is ever racist again. He didn't say that. This is a fallen world. God told Adam, everywhere you set foot, there will be thorns. Tell me that ain't a hell of a thorn. But he said it would be there. He promised us weapons would form. But he also promised us that they will not prosper. So let's get our vision straight. You watched all of that stuff yesterday. It's horrible. And it stirs up a lot of trauma that's real. So take your time. Process that. Understand how it's affecting you. You got work to do in your heart. I got work to do in my heart. That's what we all have to do. Fully process our emotions so we can move forward. We got a responsibility to move forward. All right, well, how do you move forward? What are you supposed to do? I get that from a lot of people. What do you do when you see all of this? What do you do when you see all of this in front of you? Well, you find something to believe in. And for me, I'm going to go back to what I believe in. Number 1 and number 2, I'm going to love God with all my mind, heart, and soul. Do I do that yet? No. Assignment incomplete. Number 2, love my neighbor the same way I love myself. Have I done that in life yet? No. Assignment incomplete. So until my 2 assignments are complete, and I'm good with the work I'm turning in. When you go to school, it's like, man, I don't know what grade I get on this, but I'm good with this work that I turn. I've done all I can do. When I get there, then you're good. But until we get there, hey, we got work to do first. Yeah, if it would have been black people, yeah, you're right. If it would have been black people, they would have murked all of us. Blood everywhere. Yes. What is Big Bro gonna do about that? I'm about to go love God with all my mind, heart, and soul, and try to love my neighbors the way I love myself. And by neighbor, I mean everybody, even the people that agree with them people out there. Yeah. Like they say on Twitter, let that sink in. Let that sink in. And before you go start writing but I didn't say it was easy. I just said when you believe in something, you go about trying to do it. You stand up and do it. It ain't about it being easy. It's about it being worth it. What else you gonna do? If you show me a better answer, I'll listen. Even if you may not even be a believer in Christ, that's perfectly fine. I will listen and chop it up with you. We are all family, man. We chilling here in the family room. We're family. Family can disagree and see things a different way. And like my man a couple weeks ago said in the comment on my video, exchange ideas. We can do that. So let's do it. Let's do it. Chop it up with me, man. Send me some comments down there, man. I love all of y'all, man. Despite everything we're seeing, man, we know God is still good, man. And we still here. We still fair. My eyes open this morning. That means, number 1, God got purpose for me. I'm still meant to be here. Number 2, it means whatever, you may not even believe in God, but one thing you cannot deny. If you woke up today, that means the same power and force that spins the earth and all of the planets and everything in the universe, the cosmos, and sparks tornadoes and hurricanes and windstorms, that same force that can strike lightning woke you up today and charged your blood and got it moving. Because the moment it's not moving and animated, we're no different than dirt. We are dust. So even if you don't believe in God, you can't tell me that's not true. The same force that did all of that animated you again today for a reason. There's something separating you from the dirt for a reason. Let's walk in that, man. I love all of y'all. One,